Hello? Why is Luxembourg independent? And why is it still a Grand Duchy today? You don't know? Well, we are going to answer it together. Located in the heart of Europe, between France, Belgium, and Germany, the current Grand Duchy of Luxembourg has a history much richer and more turbulent than its humble current borders suggest. In the Middle Ages, the County of Luxembourg, which looked like this, was part of the Holy Roman Empire. The House of Luxembourg had its moments of glory during this period. Henry VII of Luxembourg became the head of the Holy Empire in the early 14th century, while his son, John of Luxembourg, known as the Blind, becomes King of Bohemia. It is this famous King of Bohemia, as chivalrous as he was blind, who comes to lend a hand to the French. He dies in combat leading a blind charge at the Battle of Crécy at the start of the 100 Years' War, if I may say so, guided by his knights. A little later, the County of Luxembourg becomes a duchy whose borders far exceed the borders of modern Luxembourg. In the 15th century, however, the territory will change hands and come under the authority of the Duke of Burgundy, who administratively attaches it to his Dutch possessions. From the 16th century until the French Revolution, the powerful European Habsburg dynasty controlled the duchy. The duchy will often be entangled in the conflicts between the Habsburgs and France, explaining the need for a strong fortress in Luxembourg City, despite inevitable loss of some territories. When the Revolutionary Wars break out between France and much of Europe, the city of Luxembourg is conquered by France and the territory comes under French administration. The fall of Napoleon I's French Empire in 1815 is a pivotal moment for Luxembourg's modern history, with unexpected consequences for the territory. The Congress of Vienna, a pivotal event in European history, saw the victorious allies against France redraw the political map. Following the period, aims to create a balance between European powers. Luxembourg, situated between France and Germanic territories, has a role to play. To this end, the Congress establishes a powerful and independent state of the Netherlands, with William I of Orange-Nassau as its sovereign ruler. Luxembourg, whose borders are redrawn and amputated, Luxembourg is on this occasion erected into a Grand Duchy, while being administratively independent of the Kingdom of the Netherlands. This seemingly insignificant detail is crucial for what follows. Yes, the Congress has an idea in mind. It seems that the European powers were not convinced, and probably rightly so, that the Netherlands of the time were really capable of defending one of the keys to Central Europe, which was Luxembourg, against a French attack. By not integrating Luxembourg into the Netherlands, the Grand Duchy, while belonging to the Dutch king, is diplomatically tied to the German Confederation. The Netherlands is not a part of North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a large defensive pact. This allows the Prussians and other Germanic states to legally station troops in Luxembourg. Through the title of Grand Duke, the King of the Netherlands was allowed to sit on the Council of the Confederation, representing Luxembourg, and with more weight than many other Germanic princes. In reality, the King of the Netherlands initially governs Luxembourg as one of his provinces, imposing laws, taxes, and cultural mandates, just like in each of these provinces. In 1830, just 15 years after the Congress of Vienna, the Belgian Revolution erupts, once again reshuffling the geopolitical landscape in this corner of Europe. The Belgians, joined by a part of the Luxembourg population, will in fact seize and then occupy the territory of the Grand Duchy, except for the city itself, which is held by a Prussian garrison, to which they are clearly not going to try to confront. This situation sees the birth of the Kingdom of Belgium, which officially benefits from a good part of the territory, from the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg in 1839, which had been occupied for several years. The Orange-Nassau dynasty retains the remaining parts of the Grand Duchy of Luxembourg, primarily centered around Luxembourg City. Luxembourg's current borders were established at this time. The territory remains under the Netherlands king while being part of the German Confederation. European history still holds surprises for Luxembourg's people. Between 1839 and 1890, the progressive autonomy of Luxembourg will take place. William II, who succeeded William I of Orange-Nassau in 1840 as ruler of the Netherlands and the Grand Duchy, will encourage administrative autonomy of the territory. While in 1866, a war between Prussians and Austrians puts an end to the German Confederation. The France of Napoleon III will seek to take advantage of this situation and proposes to William II to buy Luxembourg, to which Prussia, under the impulse of its Chancellor von Bismarck, opposes, which also still has a garrison in Luxembourg. In 1867, following a period of heightened tension with war as a possible outcome, a compromise was reached through a treaty declaring Luxembourg's status neutral territory for France and Prussia, France renouncing its claims, while Prussia withdraws its garrison. In 1890, Wilhelmina of Orange-Nassau, who is a woman, inherits the Netherlands, but due to different succession laws, Luxembourg at the time, by dynastic convention, had to go to a male heir, a rule that would no longer apply a few decades later, and thus in fact passes to another branch of the Nassau-Weilburg, who still reign over the Grand Duchy today. During the First World War, Luxembourg, whose neutrality is violated, is militarily occupied by Germany, which plans to annex the territory in case of final victory. But during the conflict, it leaves a certain political autonomy to the Grand Duchy. Germany's defeat saves Luxembourg, but leads to a severe political crisis after the occupation. In January 1919, a revolution resembling a mutiny was carried out by a part of the Luxembourgish army, proclaiming the Luxembourgish Republic, not meeting any real popular support, and which is easily stifled by the French troops present in the sector. In fact, a referendum takes place the same year in response to this political instability, letting voters choose the regime they wish to live under. The monarchical regime of the Grand Duchy wins with 80% of the votes, over establishing a republican regime, illustrating the weak support mentioned a little earlier. During the Second World War, Luxembourg's neutrality is violated once more as it is occupied and then directly annexed by Nazi Germany. The Grand Ducal government, whose hand is forced, goes into exile and chooses the side of the Allies. This allows, at the end of the Second World War, which see the Allied victory, to regain its independence. Luxembourg then became one of the founding and proactive members of the European Economic Community, and today of the European Union. So it is that this country, which was not always so humble in size, managed to navigate the tumultuous course of our European history, from the Middle Ages to the present day, while managing, despite major difficulties, to maintain a regime, a dynasty, and borders inherited from the 19th century. Thanks for watching this episode of our new, slightly shorter format. To better respond to questions I've asked myself or heard from others, let me know in the comments if you like this format. With that, I'll see you for a slightly denser topic, but no less interesting, as we're going to delve into the workings of the ancient Egyptian economy. See you soon.